In the remote hills of what once stood as the fringe of a forgotten empire, a signal broke the silence, but it wasn't the clear, sharp ping of a common coin. It was deep, resonant, an anomaly that suggested something massive was trapped beneath a limestone slab that hadn't been moved in nearly 2,000 years. At Signal 49, we don't just look for artifacts, we look for the stories that history tried to bury. What we found here wasn't just metal, it was a guardian, a sentinel of silver and bone that seems to challenge our very understanding of how ancient treasures were protected. As we began to clear the earth, the magnitude of the find became clear. This wasn't a random drop, this was a deliberate concealment, a warning from the past. Moving a slab of this size is a strategist's nightmare. Every inch moved is a risk to the preservation of what lies beneath. In archaeology, the cover stone is often the most significant indicator of value. The more effort required to hide something, the more terrifyingly important that object is to the person who hid it. Watch as the leverage shifts. The earth reveals a hollow. For a moment, the air changes, the smell of oxidized metal and ancient dust filling the trench. Underneath this limestone seal, the metal detector's signal didn't just grow louder, it became constant. They weren't just digging a hole anymore, they were opening a vault. This is the moment that terrified the team. This wasn't just a chest of gold. It was a grave. As they brushed away the sediment, a human skull emerged, followed by the rigid structure of a rib cage. But look closer at the chest cavity. He isn't just lying there, he is draped in metal. Intricate bands, possibly a ceremonial lorica segmentata or a unique form of status-marking armor that we rarely see in this state of preservation. Who was this man? In the Roman world, burial with such high-value metal artifacts was reserved for those who performed extraordinary service. He was buried in a tactical position, overlooking the valley. Was he a lookout? Or was he the one tasked with making sure this hoard never saw the light of day? The archaeology industry often tells us that treasures were buried in haste during wartime, but the positioning here suggests a ritual, a permanent stationing of a soul to guard the silver. As we look at the Silver Guardian, we are forced to ask, what was so terrifying about the world in his time that he chose to be buried in the dirt with his wealth, rather than let it fall into the hands of the encroaching tribes? The history books say the empire faded. This find says it fought. It says it hid its secrets in the shadows of the hills, waiting for someone to find the signal. We have only begun to analyze these icons. What they reveal about ancient mysteries might just rewrite the map of this region. This is Signal 49. History is a mystery. Let's keep digging. As the dust clears, they find the first of the major artifacts. These aren't just coins, these are icons. Look at the craftsmanship. These relief plaques depict scenes that bridge the gap between classical Roman art and early religious transition. The detail in the robes, the posture of the figures, this is the work of a master smith. Then, the centerpiece, a small ornate silver box. In the ancient world, these were often used to carry bullae or sacred seals. To find one still tucked near the skeleton's hand is a testament to the personal nature of this discovery. He died holding on to his status, or perhaps his protection. Now they reach the heart of the anomaly. Inside the secondary chest, a collection of silver denarii and gold coins that look as though they were minted yesterday. Look at the inscription, Caesar. These coins represent the lifeblood of an empire. In today's market, a single one of these in this condition is a find of a lifetime. To find a hoard of dozens, guarded by the remains of the man who likely died for them, is a discovery that challenges the standard narrative of lost Roman payrolls. These weren't lost, they were hidden with a level of precision and fear that suggests the owner expected to come back, or perhaps wanted to ensure no one else ever could. Let's start with the remains. Skeletal preservation is a complex science. Look at the bone density and the articulation, the way the bones are joined. In a genuine ancient burial, the weight of the shifting earth over centuries usually collapses the rib cage and scatters smaller bones. Notice how these skeletons are perfectly posed. The jewelry on the neck and wrists is sitting exactly where it would on a living person. In a 2,000-year-old grave, jewelry typically slides as the flesh decays and the skeleton settles. If these are real remains, they've been protected by a vacuum seal we don't see. If they're props, they've been dressed for maximum visual impact. Watch the soil around the vertebrae. Is it packed or is it loose backfill? Now, look at the distribution of the wealth. 2 boxes of coins and a pot of gold. To a strategist, this is oversaturation. Ancient burials usually follow a ritualistic pattern, 1 or 2 significant items. Finding a triple cache in a single hole is statistically near impossible in real archaeology. Observe the coins as they are pulled from the boxes. They aren't stuck together in a clod or concretion as ancient metal usually is after centuries of moisture. They are loose, clinking, and remarkably bright. We have to ask, does this look like a 2,000-year-old hoard or a high-end film set? We are looking for the digital fingerprints of a hoax, signs that this terrifying find was built, not birthed from history. We're moving to the close-ups of the wrist and neck jewelry. Look at the luster. Genuine gold is inert and doesn't tarnish, but the settings and the alloys used in ancient times usually show signs of pitting or mineralization from the surrounding soil. Notice how these pieces look like they were polished yesterday. Strategically, why bury a king with his gold but leave it in such a shallow, easily accessible pit? If this is a real royal grave, where is the chamber? Where is the sarcophagus? The industry would have us believe that kings were buried in shallow dirt with millions in gold. Logic suggests otherwise. We have to address the retention strategy. To keep a viewer for this long, the creator had to keep escalating the find. First a skeleton, then jewelry, then one box, then two, then a pot of gold. This is narrative escalation. In real discovery, you find one piece and spend days carefully brushing the dirt. Here, it's a rapid-fire reveal. By treating this as a forensic case, we see the cracks. The terrifying nature of the find isn't the skeletons, it's the potential that history is being manufactured for clicks. We are witnessing the birth of cinematic archaeology, where the goal isn't truth, but the feeling of discovery. The final tally: 2 skeletons, multiple caches, and a pot of gold. The verdict? The lack of bone mineralization, the loose coin physics, and the posing of the jewelry point to a high-budget, professionally staged production. It's a 10 out of 10 for entertainment, but a 0 out of 10 for historical authenticity. At Signal 49, we hunt the truth. We want the real mysteries, the ones that are messy, broken, and hard to find. This was a beautiful fiction. Thanks for joining our 14-minute audit. If you want to see us tackle a real anomaly next, you know what to do. I'm the Signal 49 strategist. Stay sharp and don't believe everything you see in the dirt.